A dealership is not built to make your best decision. It is built to move inventory. These 10 cars look tempting because the payment, badge, features, or price feel right. But each one has a documented problem hiding underneath. Number 1 targets the buyer who trusts a famous badge without checking the year first, before asking tough questions. Number 10, 2014 to 2019. Ford Fiesta Automatic Power Shift. The Fiesta Automatic looks like the perfect cheaper first car until the transmission starts acting like it cannot make up its mind. What the dealer says is simple: low price, easy parking, great fuel economy, low insurance, clean paint, and just enough tech for a student or budget buyer. They call it simple transportation, and on the surface that sounds fair. This car targets the buyer who thinks the lowest sticker price is always the smartest move. What they do not say is that the automatic Fiesta used Ford's DPS-6 PowerShift dual-clutch transmission, and that is where the deal changes. The documented issue includes clutch shutter, delayed engagement, loss of power, no start problems, and transmission control module failure. Ford created extended coverage programs, including 14M01 for clutch shutter and input shaft seal concerns, and 14M02 for the transmission control module. That is not garage gossip. That is a paper trail. When a manufacturer extends coverage, it usually means enough owners felt the same painful pattern. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like depends on coverage, mileage, and how many repairs have already been done. Outside coverage, a buyer can face roughly $1,500 to $3,500 for clutch, seal, TCM programming, or repeat diagnostic work. Even if the part is covered, the car can still cost time, stress, rental days, and trust. A cheap car that cannot pull away cleanly at a stop sign is not a bargain. On a warm drive, feel for shudder, hesitation, jerking, delayed reverse, or a check engine light that returns after being cleared. If the dealer says they all drive like that, walk away. What to buy instead? Buy a manual Fiesta if you truly like the platform, or buy a Toyota Yaris, Honda Fit, or Mazda 2 if you want a small, cheaper car without this automatic transmission story. Dealers push this because the price gets people seated fast, but the transmission is the part that decides whether it stays a cute commuter or becomes a costly lesson. Also, remember, a student car gets used in traffic, hills, parking lots, and rain. A transmission that hesitates once during a test drive can feel dangerous every week after purchase. Cheap only matters when the car moves predictably. Next is the compact Chevy that sounds sensible right before the cooling system starts asking questions. Number 9, 2011 to 2016 Chevrolet Cruze 1.4 Turbo. The Cruze looks like a grown-up compact bargain, and that is why dealers can move it with a smooth pitch. What the dealer says is fuel economy, a quieter cabin than older compacts, modern styling, decent trunk space, and a payment that looks easier than a Civic or Corolla. They make it feel like the smart middle ground. This car targets the buyer who chooses based on the low monthly price alone. What they do not say is that the 1.4 Turbo Cruze has a documented cooling system trail. GM Special Coverage 14371 covered engine coolant leaks from the water pump on certain Cruze models. And common failure patterns also include thermostat housings, coolant outlets, valve covers, and PCV problems. The issue is not one vague leak. It is a pattern of plastic cooling parts, heat, pressure, and turbo plumbing, turning a cheaper commuter into repeat shop visits. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like is where the damage lands: a water pump, thermostat housing, coolant outlet, valve cover, PCV repair, turbo coolant line issue, hoses, coolant flushes, and repeated diagnostics can easily reach $1,500 to $3,000 over 5 years. If overheating is ignored, the risk climbs because heat can damage an engine faster than any salesman can explain later. The dealer may point at the low price, but a low price does not cool the engine when coolant is missing. During inspection, look for dried orange or pink coolant stains, a sweet smell, low coolant, wet areas around the water pump and outlet, rough idle, smoke, or a seller who says it only needs a sensor. Run it hot with the air conditioning on, then check for leaks after the drive. What to buy instead? Buy a Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, Mazda 3 2.0, or even a Chevrolet Sonic 1.8 if you want a simpler GM compact without the same turbo cooling story. The Cruze is not doomed because it has a Chevy badge. It is risky because the exact engine and cooling package demand proof. Dealers push it because it looks newer than the money and feels more mature than the price. You should slow down because one small leak can become a warning sign for the whole ownership story. Parents and commuters often forgive small leaks because the car still starts. That is backwards. Cooling problems grow quietly, then one hot afternoon turn a cheaper sedan into a tow truck story. Heat is never a minor detail. Next is this sporty little crossover that sells on personality, but the timing chain history is not cute. Number 8. 2011 to 2013 Nissan Juke Turbo CVT. The Juke looks weird, quick, and different, which is exactly how it pulls in the young buyer who wants something more exciting than a boring hatchback. What the dealer says is turbo power, funky styling, compact size, available all-wheel drive, and a cabin that feels playful. They sell personality. They sell the idea that you found something unique. This car targets the buyer who wants sporty styling first and checks the repair history second. What they do not say is that Nissan issued a voluntary service campaign, P4213, for timing chain replacement on certain 2011 to 2013 Juke models. That campaign covered timing chain, guides, and crank sprocket work. The issue is precise timing chain stretch or failure. Once timing is wrong, the repair stops being small. Many used Jukes also carry CVT concerns when fluid history is unknown, but the timing chain campaign is the named paper trail that earns this entry. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like depends on whether the campaign was completed before damage. A timing chain job can run around $2,000 when caught before serious engine damage. If the chain jumps or fails and the engine is damaged, the bill can climb toward $8,000 to $10,000. Add turbo plumbing, CVT concerns, premium maintenance habits, and small crossover tire costs, and the cheap fun Juke can stop feeling fun quickly. On inspection, ask for campaign completion proof, not a shrug. Listen for timing. Chain rattle on cold start. Check oil service records. Scan for codes. Drive it fully warm. And feel for CVT flare, shudder, or delayed pull away. What to buy instead? Buy a Mazda CX-3, Honda HR-V, Toyota Matrix, or a clean manual compact hatch if you want personality without stacking turbo, timing chain, and CVT risk. The Juke is not on this list because everyone is broken. It is here because dealers can sell the shape before buyers ask the engine questions. The car looks different, and that distracts people. Different is fine. Documented timing chain risk plus unknown transmission history is not fine. If the dealer starts with style, you start with paperwork. No proof, no purchase. The dealer may call the odd shape a selling point, but odd styling does not lower the price of timing work. A fun car still needs boring records, clean oil, and proof that the campaign was handled before damage started. Next is the Jeep that sells adventure, while the oil dipstick tells a different story. Number 7. 2014 to 2019 Jeep Cherokee 2.4 Tiger Shark. Adventure sells fast when the grill says Jeep, but this Cherokee needs a harder look before anyone signs. What the dealer says is 4-wheel drive, trail image, touchscreen, comfort features, high seating, and a price that looks friendlier than a 4Runner or Outback. They sell identity. They sell the feeling that you are buying capability. This car targets the buyer who wants an affordable off-road image without paying Toyota truck money. What they do not say is that the 2.4-liter Tiger Shark engine has a documented excessive oil consumption issue. FCA issued customer satisfaction notification W80 and related service information around oil consumption testing and long block replacement procedures on affected vehicles. The name problem is not just that some engines use oil. It is excessive oil consumption that can lead to low oil levels, stalling, poor running, or engine damage if ignored. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like can get ugly. If the vehicle fails an oil consumption test and coverage does not apply, long block repair can run roughly $5,000 to $8,000. Even before that, 5 years of oil top-offs, diagnostic visits, spark plug fouling, low oil anxiety, possible catalytic converter stress, and repeated checks can turn the cheap Jeep into an expensive habit. A vehicle that needs constant dipstick attention is not a carefree adventure. On inspection, check the oil level before the engine is started. Look for service campaign history. Ask about oil consumption testing, scan for codes, and drive it long enough to see if idle quality changes. Check for smoke, roughness, and any seller who says it just needs oil sometimes. That sentence should make you pause. What to buy instead? Buy a Honda CR-V, Mazda CX-5, Toyota RAV4, or a Subaru Forester only after verifying CVT history and service records. If you want actual off-road ability, save for a properly inspected Wrangler or 4Runner instead of buying the badge in the wrong package. Dealers push this Cherokee because the Jeep name does half the selling. Your job is to ask if the engine can keep oil in it for the next 5 years. The badge is not the problem. The oil consumption paper trail is. A cheap Jeep with missing oil history is not a lifestyle purchase. It is a bet against a known failure pattern. Also, check how the previous owner drove it. Short trips, stop-and-go traffic, and missed oil checks are exactly the kind of use that makes consumption problems show up faster. Adventure stickers do not protect bearings or rings. Next is the Korean sedan people trust because the brand has improved, but this engine family has a serious paper trail. Subscribe if you want calm buyer rules, documented failures, and repair cost truth before a dealer turns a weak car into your problem. Number 6. 2015 to 2019 Hyundai Sonata 2.4 GDI. The Sonata looks like the smart middle ground, until the engine history forces a harder conversation. What the dealer says is value, modern features, clean styling, roomy cabin, warranty reputation, and a lower price than Camry or Accord. They tell you Hyundai has caught up with the Japanese brands, and in many ways, the brand has improved. But the exact engine matters more than the brand story. This car targets the buyer, who believes a newer Korean sedan automatically equals Japanese long-term reliable ownership. What they do not say is that the 2.4-liter Theta 2 GDI engine family has documented bearing wear and engine failure. History tied to recalls, campaigns, warranty extensions, and class action settlements. The specific failure pattern is connecting rod bearing wear, engine knock, seizure, stalling, and potential engine replacement. Hyundai's knock sensor detection system campaigns and warranty extension language exist because the issue is not just a few noisy cars online. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like depends on VIN coverage, campaign completion, oil records, mileage, inspection results, and whether Hyundai approves help. If covered, the owner may get assistance. If not covered, engine replacement can run roughly $6,000 to $10,000. Even before failure, the buyer may spend money and time on oil consumption checks, knock sensor questions, diagnostic visits, campaign verification, and stress every time the engine sounds rough on cold start. A lower price than a Camry can vanish in one bearing event: inspection checkpoint, verify VIN eligibility, campaign completion, KSDS update status, oil change records, engine noise on cold start, smoke, oil level, and any P1326 related history. Do not accept vague warranty talk. Ask for paperwork. What to buy instead? Buy a Toyota Camry 2.5, Honda Accord 4-cylinder, Mazda 6 2.5, or a Sonata only after verifying VIN coverage, service records, and campaign completion. Dealers push the Sonata because it looks like a lot of car for the money. The features are real, the cabin is nice, and the price can look strong. But value means nothing if the engine has an unresolved bearing story. The calm answer is not to hate every Hyundai. The calm answer is to verify the exact engine, exact VIN, and exact campaign history before you treat it like a Japanese sedan replacement. The worst part is that the Sonata can drive beautifully right before it becomes serious. A smooth test drive alone is not enough. You need paperwork, campaign history, and proof that the engine was watched, not just washed. Next is the German crossover that sells with tech and style, while water leaks can ruin the cabin quietly. Number 5. 2018 to 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan with panoramic sunroof. The Tiguan looks sharp on the lot, and that is exactly why the water story gets missed. What the dealer says is European feel, modern cabin, big touchscreen, available 3-row layout, crisp styling, quiet ride, and a premium feel for less money than a luxury SUV. They sell the cabin. They let the glass roof do the talking. This car targets the buyer who equates modern tech, glass roofs, and European styling with better value. What they do not say is that Volkswagen panoramic sunroof water leaks have been tied to service actions, warranty extension language, and class action litigation. Service Action 60E5 described front sunroof drains that could become blocked with moist debris, allowing water to leak into the passenger compartment. The documented pattern is water intrusion through the panoramic sunroof system, with possible damage to carpets, headliners, interior electronics, audio parts, and modules. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like depends on how early it is caught. Drain cleaning or modification can be a few $100s outside of goodwill, but if water sits under the carpet, damages modules, stains the headliner, or creates mold, the repair can climb into several $1,000s. A 5-year owner could realistically spend $1,500 to $6,000 if leaks repeat. Electronics get wet, or damage is discovered late. The worst part is that water damage can hide. The car may be detailed, smell nice, and still have damp padding underneath. Inspection checkpoint. Check the headliner corners, pillars, floor carpet, spare tire area, sunroof drains, musty smell, warning lights, and any history of water repairs. After a rain, inspect it again if possible. What to buy instead? Buy a Toyota RAV4, Mazda CX-5, Honda CR-V, or a Tiguan without the panoramic roof if you insist on the Volkswagen feel. Dealers push this Tiguan because the cabin sells fast. A bright screen and glass roof make buyers feel like they are getting a newer class of vehicle. But the problem is simple. If the roof leaks, the fancy cabin becomes the repair. The dealer may talk about features. You ask about drains, water history, settlement work, and module damage. A dry, simple roof is boring. Boring can save thousands. Water leaks also create resale problems. Once a cabin smells musty, buyers get nervous, and trade value drops hard. That means the fancy roof can hurt you twice, first in repairs, then again when selling. Next is the Subaru that sells all-weather trust, but the CVT warranty story tells you what to inspect first. Number 4. 2014 to 2018 Subaru Forester 2.5 CVT. The Forester sells confidence before the engine even starts, and that is what makes buyers relax too early. What the dealer says is all-wheel drive, great visibility, safety scores, outdoor lifestyle, good resale, roof rails, and loyal owners. They sell trust in bad weather. They sell the idea that Subaru equals safe money. This car targets the buyer who thinks all-wheel drive and good resale automatically erase transmission risk. What they do not say is that Subaru issued CVT warranty extension coverage for certain model years and applications after enough transmission concerns existed to justify extra protection. The documented issue is not just that CVTs feel strange. It includes valve body faults, solenoid problems, transmission warning lights, judder, hesitation, and possible CVT replacement. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like can surprise people who thought Subaru ownership was always simple. A valve body repair can run roughly $1,500 to $3,000, depending on parts and shop. A full CVT replacement can run roughly $6,000 to $8,000. Add matching tires, differential fluid, wheel bearings, suspension work, oil checks, and the higher cost of all-wheel drive maintenance, and the 5-year math can climb quickly. That does not mean every Forester is bad. It means a dealer pitch about snow confidence is incomplete without CVT proof. Inspection checkpoint. Drive it fully warm. Feel for shudder, hesitation, delayed engagement, or RPM flare. Scan for transmission codes. Verify CVT warranty status. Review fluid service, and check that all 4 tires match closely. Also listen for wheel bearing hum at 35 to 65 miles per hour. What to buy instead? Buy a Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, Mazda CX-5, or a Forester only if the CVT service history, warranty status, and warm drive behavior are verified. Dealers push Foresters because the brand sells itself in snow states. Buyers often stop asking questions once they see all-wheel drive. That is backwards. All-wheel drive helps the car move. It does not make the transmission cheap. The correct buyer asks for records first and lifestyle talk second. A Forester with a clean CVT history may be fine. A Forester with unknown fluid, mismatched tires, and a soft answer from the dealer should not follow you home. Subaru buyers also forget tire rules. One mismatched tire can upset the driveline and make the ownership story worse. If the dealer put cheap mixed tires on it, that tells you they are selling image, not care. Next is the compact Ford SUV dealers love because it looks modern, but the coolant story changes the math. If you want to repair math before sales pressure, subscribe. We look at service bulletins, campaigns, and real 5-year costs first. Number 3. 2017 to 2019 Ford Escape 1.5 EcoBoost. The Escape looks like a safe, small family choice until the coolant starts disappearing. What the dealer says is turbo power, compact size, easy parking, available all-wheel drive, good fuel economy, modern interior, and a price lower than many Japanese crossovers. They sell practical family values. They make it sound like the smart way to avoid paying RAV4 money. This car targets the family compact SUV buyer, who assumes a lower price means a better deal. What they do not say is Ford Customer Satisfaction Program 21, N12, and related service information addresses coolant intrusion into the cylinder bores on certain 1.5-liter EcoBoost Escape vehicles. The exact issue is coolant intrusion, often showing up as coolant loss, white smoke, overheating, misfires, rough cold starts, or repeated cylinder misfire codes. Ford created a no-cost, one-time short block repair program within specific limits for affected vehicles. That is the part that the sales pitch rarely explains clearly. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like depends on coverage. If coverage applies and the car qualifies, the buyer may be protected. If it does not, short block or engine repair can run roughly $6,000 to $9,000. A buyer who thinks they saved $3,000 versus a RAV4 can lose that in one engine event. Add turbo parts, cooling system work, diagnostic time and downtime, and 5-year ownership can get expensive fast. Inspection checkpoint. Check coolant level cold. Look for coolant smell, white smoke, rough starts, misfire history, pressure test results, service program eligibility, and any engine replacement paperwork. Scan it even if the dash is clean. What to buy instead? Buy a Mazda CX-5 2.5, Toyota RAV4 2.5, Honda CR-V 2.4, or a naturally aspirated Escape only after careful year and engine research. Dealers push this Escape because it looks newer, cleaner, and more feature-packed than the old dependable choices. That is the trap. Modern does not mean low risk. Turbo does not mean free power. A lower price does not erase a coolant intrusion program. If the dealer cannot show a clear repair history, VIN eligibility, and clean cooling behavior, do not let the payment decide. Family SUVs should reduce stress, not put a short block question in your driveway. Do not let a fresh detail hide coolant loss. Look at the reservoir, smell the exhaust, and ask why any coolant was added. A family car should not need a coolant alibi before the loan papers are signed. Next is the luxury badge that makes people think price equals quality right before timing chains prove otherwise. Number 2, 2013 to 2016. BMW X3 xDrive 28 IN 20. Premium for less sounds tempting until the timing chain turns premium into painful. What the dealer says is German engineering, luxury interior, all-wheel drive, strong handling, status, clean design, and huge depreciation savings compared with the original sticker. They sell the feeling that you are getting a $40,000 vehicle for cheap money. This car targets the buyer who thinks a higher original price and luxury branding must mean a better used car decision. What they do not say is that BMW's N20 and N26 engines had documented timing chain and oil pump drive chain concerns, tied to class action settlement and limited warranty extension materials. The specific issue is timing chain guide or chain wear, oil pump drive chain concern, chain noise, timing faults, drivetrain warnings, and possible engine damage if ignored. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like is where the luxury badge stops being charming. A preventative timing chain repair can run roughly $4,000 to $6,000 at many shops. If the chain issue leads to engine damage, the bill can push well past $10,000. Then add BMW tires, brakes, oil leaks, coolant leaks, transfer case service, battery registration, sensors, and electronics. A buyer can easily spend more than the purchase discount over 5 years. Inspection checkpoint. Listen cold for chain noise, scan for timing faults, check oil leaks, coolant leaks, transfer case behavior, tire wear, service records, and whether the chain work has already been done. Do not accept the phrase "just serviced" unless the invoice names the work. What to buy instead? Buy a Lexus RX 350, Acura RDX V6, Toyota Highlander, or Mazda CX-5 if you want comfort without N20 timing chain exposure. Dealers push the X3 because the badge does half the work. Buyers imagine they are smarter than depreciation. Sometimes they are, but not when they ignore the known engine family issue. This is not a warning against every BMW. It is a warning against buying a complicated used luxury crossover because the monthly payment looks close to that of a normal car. The parts are not normal. The labor is not normal. The failure pattern is documented. If you cannot afford the timing chain conversation before buying, you cannot afford the car after buying. The X3 can feel excellent on the test drive, and that is the danger. Premium steering, quiet doors, and soft seats do not tell you what the chain guides look like. Records tell that story. Number 1 has the famous reliability badge, the family SUV pitch, and the repair story dealers hope you do not ask about. Number 1. 2016 to 2017 Honda Pilot Touring or Elite 9-Speed. The Pilot is the dangerous kind of used car because the badge makes people stop asking hard questions. What the dealer says is Honda reliability, 3-row family space, strong resale, comfortable seats, safety reputation, and a lower price than a newer Pilot or Highlander. They sell trust. They barely have to push because the badge already did half the selling. This car targets the buyer who trusts a famous reliability badge so much that they forget that specific years and specific transmissions still matter. What they do not say is some 9-speed Pilot trims had a documented transmission warmer issue covered in Honda Service Bulletin, a 17-009. The issue was an internal leak that could allow engine coolant and automatic transmission fluid to mix. The bulletin language warned that mixed fluids could cause overheating, poor shifting, and possible engine or transmission damage. Honda also had fuel injector-related service information on related V6 applications. But here, the key issue is the 9-speed transmission warmer fluid contamination. What the realistic 5-year cost looks like depends on whether the issue was caught early and repaired correctly. If caught early and covered, it may not destroy the budget. If contamination damages the transmission, replacement can run roughly $6,000 to $8,000. If engine damage enters the conversation, the number gets worse. Add timing belt service, tires, brakes, injector questions, 3-row SUV suspension wear, and family use. And 5-year ownership can cost far more than the buyer expected from a Honda. Inspection checkpoint. Verify trim and transmission. Check for service bulletin repair history. Inspect coolant and transmission fluid condition. Drive fully warm. Feel for shift harshness. Scan for codes. And ask whether the transmission warmer or transmission was replaced. What to buy instead? Buy a Toyota Highlander V6, a Honda Pilot lower trim with the 6-speed after service history is verified, or a Mazda CX-9 only after checking coolant, transmission behavior, and full records. This car is number 1 because it proves the whole video. The dealer does not need to pressure you hard when the badge does the pressure for them. Honda makes many excellent vehicles, but a great badge does not cancel a documented issue. Your job is to ask the questions the badge makes other buyers skip. If the answer is soft, the walkaway is simple. A family SUV should earn trust with paperwork, not just a grille emblem and a clean detail job. Do not let the 3rd-row space distract you either. Families load these hard, tow lightly, run highway trips, and postpone service. A Honda badge can survive abuse better than many badges, but not every repair bill cares. Subscribe for reliable buyer rules, documented failure checks, and calm repair math before a dealership turns pressure into your problem. Buyer cheat sheet. Dealers push emotion first. They talk payment, badge, color, touchscreen, fuel economy, warranty reputation, and how many people are supposedly looking at the car. You need to talk about the failure pattern first. Fiesta Automatic means DPS 6 powershift clutch and TCM history. Cruise 1.4 turbo means water pump, PCV, coolant and turbo leak risk. Juke means timing chain campaign and CVT caution. Cherokee 2.4 means Tiger Shark oil consumption. Sonata 2.4 means Theta, 2 bearing and engine replacement history. Tiguan with panoramic roof means water leak and risk to interior electronics. Forester CVT means valve body, solenoid, and transmission cost questions. Escape 1.5 means coolant intrusion, BMWX. 3 and 20 means timing chain and oil pump drive chain exposure. Pilot 9-speed means transmission warmer fluid contamination. The pattern is simple. If the dealer gives you a soft answer, slow down. If they say they all do that, slow down more. If they say the warranty should cover it, ask for the exact document, mileage limit, repair history, and VIN eligibility. A cheap monthly payment does not erase a $5,000 repair. A famous badge does not erase a bad year. A clean detail job does not erase a technical bulletin. Before you buy, do a warm test drive. Scan for codes, check campaigns, read records, and price the known failure before signing. The right used car is not the one the dealer is most excited to move. It is the one with a clean history, boring drivetrain, verified repairs, and no known time bomb under the hood. Also, never let urgency replace inspection. If the salesperson says another buyer is coming, let that buyer have it. Pressure is not proof. A real deal survives questions. A weak one needs speed, emotion, and silence. Ask about the failure first, then decide if the price still makes sense. If the math feels ugly, the answer is simple. Walk away today. No pressure beats proof. A dealership wants to move inventory. Your job is to protect money. Ask about the failure pattern first, or walk away before the payment traps you.